Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a brilliant chess battle packed with tactics, strategy and surprises. Let's dive right in. Khoa Bao plays e4, hurling his pawn into the center like the first spear of an assault, bold, direct, and staking claim to the heart of the board. Wesley So replies c5, the Sicilian counterpunch. Black's pawn lunges to c5, to challenge the center and dare white into a firefight. Khoa brings out nf3, a nimble knight to f3, a scout protecting f5 and ready to jump into the fray at the first crack. Wesley answers n6, knight to chicks, bolstering the c5 pawn and eyeballing d4. Black builds tension like a drawn bow. Khoa smashes d4, pawn to d4, opening the gates. Direct central assault. This is no slow dance. This is a raid. Wesley captures cx-d4, pawn from c5 snaps to d4, and eats white's central pawn. The board smells of first blood. Khoa counterattacks, nx4, knight f3 to d4 retakes that pawn, planting a horse firmly in enemy territory and seizing the initiative. Wesley plays an f6, knight to f6 challenges the central knight, and asks loudly, "Who really owns these squares?" Khoa develops nc3, knight bone to c3 adds, weight to d5 plans, and keeps pressure brewing in the middle. Wesley pushes f5, pawn to f5 strikes at the knights. A gutsy contest for central control, weapons thrown down. Khoa replies ndb5, knight d4 to b5 hops away, but with menace, threatening 7 and poking at black's queenside armor. Wesley shores with z6, pawn to z6 builds a solid wall, reinforcing f5 and telling white to make him bleed for space. Khoa develops bg5, bishop to g5 pins, the f6 knight, a theatrical little torture, pressure applied with a smile. Wesley answers a6, pawn to s6, tells the knight to move. "Off my turf," he says, prodding white's intruder. Khoa sidesteps na3, knight b5 to a3 retreats with purpose, keeping flexibility and plotting future jumps, elegant and sly. Wesley storms b5, pawn b7, to b5, expands on the queenside, chasing pieces and turning the flank into a battlefield. Khoa bolts nd5, knight c3 to d5 charges into the center, like a planted standard, invasive, threatening, impossible to ignore. Wesley calmly plays b7, bishop to a7 develops solidly, unpinning lines and preparing to contest the central heat. Khoa slices bx f6, bishop g5 takes on f6, and removes black's knight. A concrete trade, white bites into black's defenses. Wesley recaptures bx f6, bishop e7 to f6 snaps back, regaining material balance and keeping a dark squared presence. Khoa plays key3, pawn to c3, fortifies d4, b4 squares, and prepares a slower, sturdier center, consolidation after the skirmish. Wesley castles, king to gate and rook to fate, tuck to safety, while the rooks start eyeing open files hungrily. Khoa repositions nct2, knight a3, to c2 reroutes quietly, patience in motion, a knight slipping behind the lines to strike later. Wesley slides right, Rook 8 to bait rolls onto the queen side like artillery, ready to back the pawn advance. Khoa develops b2. Bishop to e2 connects the army and prepares for kingside or long castle ideas. Tidy, purposeful. Wesley plays bg5, bishop f6. To g5 activates the piece again, targeting e2 g4 ideas, and keeping white's structure uncomfortable. Khoa answers bg4, bishop e4 to g4. Meets black's bishop head-on. Bishops stare like two snipers across a ruined street. Wesley counters b6. Bishop c8 to e6 centralizes and blocks lines, steadying the dark square control like tightening a harness. Khoa repositions nc3. Knight c2 to e3. nc3 hops forward, coordinating with the other knight and keeping tactical pressure alive. Wesley plays g6. Pawn g7 to g6 secures f5 and luft for the king. A fortress move, small but meaningful. Khoa storms h4. Pawn h2 to h4 charges the flank. Aggressive, slightly reckless, an attempt to pry open black's kingside. Wesley captures bx-h4. Bishop g5 snaps the pawn on h4 and takes material. A sharp reply that silences white's wing bravado. Khoa Bao lifts qf3. The queen rises like a battle banner, pointing straight at the kingside, eyes locked on the dark castle of Wesley So. Wesley coolly plays kg7, sliding his king to safety. A quiet move that says, "You won't checkmate me that easily." Khoa advances qh3, queen creeping forward like a hunter in the night, her gaze burning through the dark diagonals. Wesley snaps back with bx-d4, his bishop lunging and slicing through white's guard. The bishop eats the g4 defender in one clean chop. Khoa answers next g4. Knight leaps in revenge, crashing down on the bishop, steel for steel, fury for fury. Wesley strikes h5, pushing the pawn like a war drum, trying to drive the white queen and knight apart. Khoa boldly plays qx4. Queen takes the pawn, elegant, brutal and hungry for more. Wesley launches qh4. Queens collide. Black's queen devours her rival in a single ruthless blow. Khoa regroups with rxh4. Rook recaptures and takes command of the open file. The torch still burns on the king's side. Wesley retaliates hx by g4. Pawn explodes forward, smashing through defenses, clearing space for his rook's advance. Khoa fights back rx d4. Rook storms in, sightseeing the g4 pawn, vengeance swift and clean. Wesley rolls b4. A pawn thrust to the queen side. A second front opens, and the board shakes with tension. Khoa captures nx b4. Knight from d5 chomps the pawn on b4, striking back across the field, a knight's countercharge. Wesley answers nix b4. Black knight returns the favor, slicing down the invader, the balance of blood restored. Khoa pushes cx b4. Pawn from c3 snaps the knight, opening a file and a howl of chaos. The center collapses in dust. Wesley strikes rx b4. Rook from bait swings in and takes the pawn, a cold, mechanical retribution. Khoa castles long with 000. King hides on the queen side as the rooks line up like cannons. White digs in for the storm. Wesley fires Rasate. Rook slides up the c-file and slaps a check straight into white's camp. Precision artillery fire. Khoa calmly blocks with keybone. King sidesteps, dusting off the blast, still alive, still unbroken. Wesley shoves c5. The f-pawn barrels forward like a battering ram, aggression pulsing through the veins of black's position. Khoa shifts rook 4, rook slides over, guarding, gliding, and maybe plotting a trap behind that calm move. Wesley lifts r6. The rook ascends the file like a black dragon, eyes on c2 and h6. The pressure doubles. Khoa braces f3. Pawn to f3, strengthens the wall. A builder's move in the middle of war. Wesley lashes out g5, pawn g6 to g5. No more patience, no more walls. The kingside bursts into fire. Khoa responds r3. Rook swings back, guarding the third rank. A nervous soldier shielding the king's door. Wesley keeps pushing fc4. The f5 pawn devours the e4 pawn. Ground gained by pure force. Khoa rallies with a3. Pawn advances like a marching drum beat, setting up counterplay on the queenside. Wesley reloads r4. Rook from b4 retreats to d4. Central domination, the black banner waves high. Khoa slides a down, doubling rooks like twin wolves eyeing the king. Teamwork forged in desperation. Wesley counters xf3. Pawn from e4 bites into f3. Black's pawns turn into monsters. Khoa checks with e7. Rook dives in. The final offensive begins. A check that screams defiance. Wesley moves kg6. King steps into the flames. Fearless, unshaken. The commander who walks through chaos. Khoa lunges rf7. Rook crashes forward, delivering a check like a warhammer smashing through the front gate. Wesley slides k4. King marches boldly into the open. Not running, but advancing, daring the world to stop him. Khoa pushes, gxf3. Pawn from g2 captures on f3. A desperate strike, hoping to tear apart the black advance. Wesley calmly plays kd5. The king striding deeper into enemy territory. A general walking through smoke and fire. Khoa fires rg6. Rook from h6 leaps to g6, setting up crossfire. The cannons are roaring again. Wesley hits back ref4. Rook swings to four. A counterblow that cuts off white's attack at the throat. Khoa races rb7. Rook from bone shoots to b7. The last hope, a flank strike toward enemy pawns. Wesley responds rxf3. Rook captures on f3. Clean, merciless, slicing through white's defenses like silk. Khoa lunges, rxc5. Rook from g6 strikes down the g5 pawn. The white soldier roars one last time. Wesley pushes, a5, pawn to a5. Black's queenside pawns begin their grim march toward promotion. Khoa steadies rg6, rook back to g6, guarding, checking, praying for a miracle. Wesley rolls a4, pawn steps again, unstoppable, like a black avalanche rolling downhill. Khoa answers rb5a, rook delivers, a check, a last-ditch cannon blast to stall the tide. Wesley blocks with rc5, rook from chick slides over, solid as steel, cold as logic. Khoa fires rb6, rook retreats to b6, regrouping, desperate to stop the storm. Wesley steps R6, rook up the file again, defending the pawns, black's formation tight as armor. Khoa hits RB5, rook checks once more, every move now a scream into the void. Wesley answers careful, the king returns to the center, calm amidst chaos, untouchable. Khoa steadies RGD2, rook slides back. White's defense is fading but still fighting on instinct. Wesley coolly plays Kf5, king to 5. Each stride forward an omen of doom. Khoa brings RD5, rook to D5, a brave blockade, a wall against the flood. Wesley thrusts R for Ani, rook fires a check, forcing the white king back into the corner. Khoa shuffles K2, king sidesteps, cornered but still breathing. Wesley strikes Raccoon, rook from chicks invades, the first rank. Both rooks now lined like twin blades, ready to finish the job. Khoa braces B4. Pawn pushes forward, trying to claw some air amid the chokehold. Wesley shoves Raone. Rook delivers a thunderous check. The sky splits, the end is close. Khoa dodges KB2. King flees, clutching the last bit of hope. Wesley fires RF bone. Both rooks now raining fire. A merciless double-barrel assault. Khoa slides KC3, running from the storm, but the darkness follows. Wesley ends it with RX A3. Rook takes pawn on A3 with check. The battlefield burns, no survivors. Khoa forced to KB2. King crawls back toward B2. Nowhere left to run. Only the sound of defeat in the air. Wesley seals the game with RX B2. Rook captures the last pawn. A cold execution. 0-1. The black banner rises over the fallen field. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anbetsen convexen. Esto Rachel.